So once someone has been released to go back to work, is that the end of their workers' comp claim?
Most of the time, not. Most of the time, they'll go back to work before the doctors release them from care. So what happens is the doctor will treat. He may refer you for an MRI. He may send you for physical therapy. And one of the things that we see right now that the workers' comp insurance companies, they're denying treatment. So the treating physician says, "Oh, I think they need 6 more weeks of physical therapy." The adjuster says, "I don't think I want to pay that, so we're not going to authorize that." So a lot of times we find ourselves fighting these types of things, or they will refer someone to an orthopedic doctor, and they're like, we're not going to pay for that, and so we have to get involved. So even though you're back to work doesn't necessarily mean that your treatment's over. What the doctor's looking for and what workers' comp bases, closing out a case or the time to close out the case is what we refer to as maximum medical improvement. It's called MMI. And so once you've reached MMI, then the doctor has to fill out a form called a 14B. Now, in that 14B, which is very interesting, has more than just the impairment rating. So you got to think about this for a second. So an impairment rating is based on American Medical Association's guidelines, and they go through and they're looking at basically your restrictions and your medical condition, and they determine what percentage. So each of our body parts have a different number of weeks associated with it. And so if you have a back injury, he's going to say that you have a 10 or 12, 15% impairment to your back. And then at that point is when we try to either get the case resolved. And on that 14B, he'll also list work restrictions. He'll also list the 14B asks the question of the doctor, is there any additional treatment that this person needs? So he has at MMI. And maximum medical improvement basically just means that the person has plateaued, that he's gotten as good as he's going to get or she's going to get, and any treatment after this point is really palliative care. It's not curative, so it's not getting them any better. So they've reached the point the doctor says, I've gotten you as good as I can get you. And that's just in basic terms. And so that's when it's time to start looking at ways to get the case resolved.